Welcome. So let's just say it. Fruitcake has a bit of a reputation, right? But what if I told you it could be incredibly moist, super festive, and just absolutely delicious? Today, we're going to totally reimagine that classic with this amazing Ontario honey holiday fruitcake. And get this isn't just a cake you bake and eat right away. Oh no, this is more of a project. It's a cake that actually gets better over time. The flavors deepen and mature, and it turns into a true holiday masterpiece. We're going to build this cake together step by step. First, we'll get our prep sorted. Then, we'll build that rich flavor base, get the hang of the fruits and nuts, bring the whole thing together, and finally, I'll let you in on the secret to the perfect bake. Okay, first things first. Before we even dream of mixing anything, let's get our kitchen set up. A little prep right now is going to make the entire process so much smoother. Trust me. So, go ahead and get your oven preheating to a really low 275 degrees. Then, grab 2 loaf pans and line them with some buttered wax paper. And here's a pro tip. Let that paper hang over the long sides by a couple of inches. It creates these little handles that make it way easier to lift the cakes out later. All right, let's get into the good stuff. This is where we create the actual soul of the cake. The amazing texture, that deep, rich flavor, it all begins right here with the wet ingredients. Now, this first step is probably the most important one, creaming your softened butter. And I don't just mean stirring it around. You want to use a mixer and really beat it until it gets light and fluffy. What you're actually doing is whipping tiny little air pockets into the butter. Once it's all creamy, then you can beat in your Ontario honey and molasses. Those little air pockets are what's going to give your cake a tender texture instead of a dense, heavy one. And these two aren't just for sweetness. The honey and molasses are key players here. They add so much moisture, which is crucial for keeping the cake from drying out. Plus, they give it this deep, almost caramel-like flavor that you just can't get from plain old sugar. Okay, next up, beat in your 6 egg yolks and a tablespoon of vanilla, and keep on beating. You're looking for the mixture to get noticeably lighter in color and even fluffier. Oh, and make sure you put those egg whites in a clean bowl and set them aside. We have a very special job for them in a little bit. Our base is looking rich and creamy. Perfect. Now it's time to build the real heart of the fruitcake. All those warm holiday spices, and of course that yummy mix of fruits and nuts. Now let's look at the spice ratio. This isn't random. We've got cinnamon for that classic warmth, allspice and nutmeg for some complexity, and just a tiny pinch of cloves for that unmistakable holiday scent. It's a really specific blend that's balanced perfectly to complement the fruit and honey without just taking over. So here's a question I think every baker's asked at some point. You mix in all those gorgeous, expensive fruits and nuts, and then when you cut into the cake, they're all sitting in a sad, dense layer at the bottom. How do we stop that from happening? The answer is this simple but totally brilliant trick called flour dusting. Seriously, that's it. By coating all your mix-ins with a little bit of flour, you create friction. It helps them kind of grip onto the batter, which stops gravity from pulling them all the way down while the cake bakes. And here's how easy it is. You just put all your chopped fruits and nuts into a big bowl. Then take half a cup of the flour you already measured out for the recipe, sprinkle it right over the top, and just give it a gentle toss to coat everything. That's it. That one little step guarantees you'll have fruit and nuts perfectly spread through every single slice. Okay, we've got our flavor base. We have our perfectly prepped mix-ins. Now it's time for the final assembly. Let's bring these 2 parts together and create our final batter. So the trick here is to alternate. Add about 1/3 of your flour and spice mix, beat it in, then add about half your liquid, beat that in. Just keep repeating that until everything's combined. Doing it this way helps the batter absorb everything evenly and gives you a really smooth texture without overmixing. And speaking of that liquid, you've got options. This is where you can customize. Apple juice is going to give you a really lovely, sweet and fruity cake. If you use spiced rum, you'll get this extra layer of warm, aromatic complexity. Or for that classic, bold, rich fruitcake flavor, go with brandy. The choice is totally yours. Now for these next 2 steps, the magic word is fold. Not stir, fold. First, you're going to gently fold in your floured fruit and nuts with a spatula. Use a big scooping motion from the bottom to the top. Next, remember those egg whites? Beat them until they hold stiff peaks. Then, just as carefully, fold those airy egg whites into the batter. This gentle folding is the absolute secret to a lighter fruitcake because it protects all that air you just whipped into the whites. That's what gives the cake its lift. Our batter looks perfect. The pans are ready to go. Now, for the final, and I'll admit, most patient part of the process, the bake. And this is not your typical cake baking situation. Take another look at that temperature, 275 degrees. I know that is super low for baking a cake, but there is a very, very good reason for it. And with that super low temperature comes a very long baking time. We're talking 3 full hours. Yeah, it takes patience, but I promise you, the result is so worth it. So why are we doing this whole low and slow thing? Well, a cake this dense, this packed with fruit, needs really gentle, even heat to cook all the way to the middle. If you tried to bake it any hotter, the outside, especially with all those sugars from the honey and fruit, would burn long before the inside was even close to being done. The second these cakes come out of the oven, you're gonna feed them. Just pour a couple tablespoons of that same liquid you used in the batter right over each hot cake. It'll soak right in and add one last burst of flavor and moisture. Then just let them cool in the pans for about 30 minutes before you turn them out. And now for the final bit of magic. Once the cakes are completely cool, wrap each one in cheesecloth that you've soaked in your chosen liquid. Then wrap that in wax paper and then wrap the whole thing in aluminum foil. Stored in the fridge like this, the cake is going to keep developing its amazing flavor for up to 2 months. So there you have it, the complete blueprint. But, a recipe is really just a starting point. Maybe you'll decide to add some dark chocolate chunks, or maybe use all pecans. The real fun is thinking about how you'll make this recipe your own, and maybe start a whole new tradition.